everybody. Welcome to the Christmas special edition of the Nordic Takedown podcast. The Christmas special that is maybe a couple of days after Christmas, but that's okay because it's Thursday and that's our release date. So you get us on Thursday. This is Jason Captain Kirk, also known as Fun Daddy, or as Adam called me earlier, Christmas Daddy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or Father Time.
Or
because
Father
of your
Time.
age.
Oh, shit. Look, okay. Today, as you are listening, it is my birthday. I am no longer in my 30s. Let's just leave that behind. Let's just leave that behind. However, I do want to do one thing. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. I've got that on my system. We've also got we've got Adam here. We've got Victor, and we've got Jonah. How you doing?
We're
guys?
all here.
How was your Christmases?
They were great. I hope.
Boosters roasting on an open fire.
Boosters roasting.
Hyperfoils flying through the air.
We're jumping
to light speed. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. I mean, we are recording this like a good week in advance, so I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. I still have a week in my 30s left. We still have a few days left before Christmas officially. However, we couldn't not give you, our dear, wonderful, faithful listeners, a Christmas week episode. So here we are. Cool. How's your week's been since our last episode?
You're gonna keep this going for
we're gonna kind of keep the agenda right now. What we're gonna do this time is just kind of reflect on the year. Like we started when the game was released. Adam and I pushed that off in end of March, wasn't it?
Yeah, something
like that,
pretty like a week after the pre-release, right? Or something?
Yeah,
week or
something
two?
like that. Yeah. Then we got Matthias was involved to begin with, and then Jonah got involved because you came on and we had good vibes on the stuff. And then after Malmö, we heard Victor's radio voice and was just like, dude, we need him. We need this guy. We need him.
Taste of the forbidden fruit.
Yeah, exactly. And so we've had a pretty good year. So I thought we could just have a little bit of a reflection on 2024 with the release of the game and looking forward a little bit to what we want from what we're looking forward to in 2025. That is next year, right?
That is.
I hope so.
That's right. It's just this age thing I'm getting forgetful. But yeah, Adam, like, should we start off with the start? Like, are you? I guess are we happy with how when we started this off?
I assume you wouldn't ask that question unless you expected me to say yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a loaded question, and
I think it's. I'm not sure, like, when we started it, what we actually thought it would be.
No.
And it's kind of been fun to see where it has been evolving from, like, two guys who met at a pre-release for the first time ever and just said, yeah, let's do a podcast after talking for 7 minutes. Something like that.
That was it, I mean, that's how all good, podcast romances start, right?
Yeah.
People are going to make a film about this someday.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I want to be the star of a movie at some point. But yeah, no, I think it's been a very nice year in that way. And not just like how we ended up us four here, but also like all the ones that have been guesting on and like how it developed, because we started that early pod that we got to be involved in Malmö Game Week and all of those stuff. Like things happened quite fast, and it was just pretty nice. Yeah. It's a lot of weird coincidences. Like I met Jonah because he jumped in a call on Discord somewhere and just started talking, and I was like,
and I was
really?
like, you sound Scandinavian.
Yes. I felt really racially profiled, and I loved it.
He's Nordic enough.
Yes,
Well, you're more Nordic than me.
I am. I am probably the most Nordic here.
I was actually talking about Jonah being the most Nordic.
What? That's cruel.
Because Nordic, Norway,
Okay.
Norse. Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like this whole thing for me is exceeded expectations. From when we started, I enjoy I enjoy producing podcasts in the game because with games I play, because I'm no good at the games, so I need to give something back to the community. So no, I put maybe a bit too harsh on myself.
You're giving them a lot of wins. Give you something back.
Most generous man alive.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just helping people feel good about themselves. Yeah, it's kind of exceeded. I enjoy doing the podcast stuff, and so I feel like this has become way better than I thought it would be. We're still looking forwards. We're still wanting to grow anyway, but I'm really pleased with how it's gone. And then we had Jonah. You came in, and we've talked a little bit about you coming in, and what was your experiences like? Are you pleased with how you've been
treated?
Yeah.
For me,
but are you pleased with how the podcast is coming? Because you're coming in as a like now is the three of us currently like pushing the way forward.
Yeah, it was a really new thing for me. Stars Unlimited in general, like the trading card game ecosystem, really community based, store based, all of that. But then also, I had never been on a weekly podcast. I played a bit around it when I was in my gap year. But super fun to have an arena to just talk about your hobby. Like I think that's a thing we probably all love. And you, Victor, what would you say your kind of highlights with Stars Unlimited and joining the pod as well has been this year?
No, I always loved playing. Well, always is a bit as I read, but I love playing card games, and I have for a long time. And I had like after COVID, there was such a slump. So many of the card games I did play before COVID just died, and we were looking actively, me and my friends, for something to come into the arena. And to be honest, even though I'm a huge Star Wars fan, when I looked at Unlimited when they started releasing like information about it, I was not thrilled. I did not think much of this game when I first looked at it. And then I got my hands on it and I thought, well, I'll try it. Why not? And it just, till this day, it keeps surprising me how good this game is, how much depth it is to it. And I like being able to have a podcast like this to talk about it and interact with you guys, with the community at large. It's just, I've always been involved in the community of card games I've played, and this is just a wonderful way of doing it. I love it. I really do.
Yeah. For me, it was really special because I'd played some card games like Kitchen Table Magic and played a lot of Hearthstone, but I had never interacted with the community really and kind of going to a store. So that whole experience was really cool. Like just meeting people that love the same hobby that you love. It's a really nice way to make friends, I guess. And in addition to having the local community, the online one for Stars Unlimited was very important for me because in Trondheim there wasn't really a community. So I feel like I've met so many people from all over the world, really, and just connecting over this game.
Yeah.
So, Jason, you have
that's a fantastic answer.
That
is absolutely fantastic. I really like that answer. That was fantastic.
That's cool. No, but I agree with Jonah there with the online community part like being a really great thing. But like you and me, Victor, then had like the opposite. Like, but kind of we both wanted to play a game. Like
Yeah.
I tried to. I had a few years of a drought until I tried Flesh and Blood, which was like too expensive, and that was very not good to play in a like if you don't have a local community, right?
Yeah.
Because it was so different. You needed to practice against a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
So when Star Wars was released, like just the small parts of it, I was like sold just everything of Flesh and Blood. Like waited for 9 months. Like this is gonna be great. It has to be. And then it was.
I love that, being all in just
Yeah.
from the teaser.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was like, 9 months? What am I going to do until then? So me and my friend here, we just played Star Wars Rebellion until then. Like the board game 1 versus 1
I love that game.
until this released. And then
Then
now it's great.
you're kind of scaring me, Adam. I'm afraid you're now gonna sell all of your Star Wars cards to jump on the new League of Legends card game.
I heard that was fake.
It is.
It's not. Yeah, it's and if it's not fake, it's only going to release in China. So
Okay.
we're good.
Ah.
But
Oof, nice. We can
yeah.
stick with Star Wars.
Yes, we can stick with Star Wars. You should be more afraid about Lorcana since I'm moving to Costa, and it's a huge Lorcana nest. But no.
Yeah. So, Jason, to bring you back into the conversation, we were kind of talking a bit about some highlights from also just like playing Star Wars.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you have some things in mind?
Oh, there's a lot of my, I guess, highlights or memorable moments were those games where I thought I was easily going to win and then somehow lost.
Weird highlights, but sure.
but more like those learning highlights. But I think playing wise, like Malmo Game Week was a bit of experience because for a long time, and I played Keyforge and I saw a lot of tournaments and being like, I'd love to live in a place where I can go to these big tournaments and play these tournaments. The same thing with Flesh and Blood. I started playing Flesh and Blood as well and practicing, and because we had a small community here in Quiver, but it was also very difficult to keep that going and pushing. When like Manatorch was still very much into Magic and only Magic, and there was only say 5 of us or 6 of us playing every week, so I was pushing quite hard there. And again, it was wanting to go and play in tournaments, play in big rooms of people. I got to do that, and I got to experience that, and also play a role in that and lifting other people up with the opportunity to stream. And that was that. I mean, that the Malmo Game Week for us as a podcast was a huge step for us to be able to do that, and we're really grateful to Samir and Marcus to giving us the opportunity to do it. Mainly Marcus, but Samir was also really great and helpful there as well. Yeah. So but that was a huge highlight. And then like the Cantina Brawl at Manatorch was just fantastic, and just being in that place and being in the community, meeting people that you feel like you've known for a little bit longer than just. You never met them in person, but you know them via so that was been a real kind of highlight for me.
That's also cool when you can kind of meet some of the people you know from the online community. So I see these two are actually connected. Actually, are people behind all those nicknames.
Exactly. Seeing people. Sorry, just reminded myself of a comment that I made to Jakob, who I never actually spoke to him, and even though commenting on his games in Malmö, and I said to him, I only recognised you from your hands. Then realizing exactly what I had said, and I was like, that's not something that you say to anyone in front of anyone.
If you're going to say something like that, it better be to Jakob. He's the kind of guy that can take that and you smile.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And the Hoyoung proxy from that as well. That got a lot of intros. I did not expect that. I was just joking around, and people were like, "Oh wow, that's actually really, really funny." And being pushed to give, So that was a few really fun playing stuff with the community.
Nice.
Yeah.
So then maybe looking a bit for the future, or
yeah. What is the future, right? Or is this the last episode, guys?
No. I had to kind of close down my Keyforge podcast. I can't do 2 in the same year. No, we're not closing this down. Yeah, but I think for us as a podcast, we're looking to hopefully stream some PQs, the local PQs as well. We're trying to get hold of the people to set that up so that people around the world can see the fun of Nordic swoo. Nordic swoo. Yeah. Sweet. Well, someone the one of the ideas before we settled on the Nordic Takedown was the R2 Swee.
Was it?
I think I suggested that as well. Thinking how can we go for R2 Sweet? I'm so glad we didn't go for that.
I think there's a reason why Adam can't remember it.
Yeah, I did not. It was not my suggestion, and it went into the trash box quite early.
Yeah, but that's going to be one thing. One thing that I think hope for us is that we, so that we could just reach out and just have the opportunity to work with other people again. Some other people, both in Sweden and other streamers out there as well. We'll start stretching our arms a little bit.
We've actually been joined now by another podcast in Sweden, popped up the other week. We've got Always Tell Me the Odds with Magnus,
lovely guys.
Fowlon. I don't know how to pronounce
Magnus and Marcus, basically.
Yeah,
that's true.
And that's just amazing to see that it's growing and people are coming about, and you have all these streams from Dragon Slash that Edwin's
Dennis.
Dennis
Dennis as well. Yeah, who's doing that as well. So he's doing really, really well there. So yeah. And if anyone in Sweden, we just encourage you to do more. Make content. We're not going to think you're jumping onto our turf at all. We want to encourage people to do make content as much as, because the more content coming out of Sweden and the Nordics,
all the merrier.
Better. Yeah, absolutely. And we're very, very happy to work alongside you as well to help you with that. But what are you guys hoping for the game? The actual the game of Star Wars Unlimited.
I'm liking that they kind of introduce some themed sets, like now with the space. I'm hoping we're going to see more kind of crazy mechanics, really focused sets that shake up the meta. That's going to be really cool. There was something teased, wasn't it, for the set 6 or something?
Secrets of Power?
Yeah, I think we talked about it.
I think they said it was the secret of letting Boba out again. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Boba Fett's return.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm really intrigued by the Legends of the Force, the next set after Jump to Lightspeed, because I really, really want to get Krennic working. So anything that will use the Force tag and be able to get him on the board again, that would be great.
Yeah, I'm just hoping there is good, like a sweet mix of new stuff. They don't have to innovate too much more. Like they can be slow with the added on mechanics. I think they could keep using some of the ones they have already done, like make some more smuggle things, for example, in the sets, and use maybe now coordinate might be the most loved one, but like some more coordinate or smuggle like these already introduced ones. So they still don't make the game too hard for newcomers to enter. So I just hope they still do that, and it's like this pretty good balanced game that we have. So
I would so much love for more formats for the game. Like, so we do have twin zones and we do have regular 1-on-1, but a 2 versus 2 player sort of thing, they had that for the LCG, and that was a great format. And like more formats for the game would be just amazing.
I think I saw someone publish or showcase a solo, like an unofficial solo version as well. That looks really interesting.
Yeah,
I haven't had a look at it more than I saw the Facebook post and I was like, oh, that looks interesting. I haven't looked any further than that, but that excited me.
Yeah, no. Any new format is really interesting to me. I'd really like to have them explore more things.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And actually solo co-op stuff as well. FFG are known for that. They do a lot of really good co-op stuff.
They do.
Yeah.
Rotation is something that both interests me and scares me a little bit. I'm really curious how they are going to implement it, and because FFG hasn't been known to have good implementations of for rotations before, and I think that's going to be like one of these shifting points. How well they implement that is going to determine so much of what the future is going to be for the game.
yeah, I hope that any type of rotation is still at least a year away. I want to be able to like play with the cards I buy for at least 2 years, like before they lose like most of their value potentially, like until like a big like unlimited play style comes in. But until then, like.
But what would a like with Flesh and Blood, they have the Living Legend format where heroes make Living Legend format, and then there are formats where you can play the heroes that have gone to Living Legend. Would that work like for us, like, you know, the like Boba gets joined by maybe Sabine after a while,
I
and
think they've
some other
specifically said they
stuff.
don't want to do that.
Have they said that? If they have, then I missed that as well.
I think they said that they don't want to do the Flesh and Blood stuff because they see problems with it.
Yeah. I think they're probably going for something more similar to what Magic's is doing, and
what they did in Destiny. Yeah,
same.
What did they do in Destiny?
They made sets like 3 a year, basically on a block, one block, and then after like 2 years, they just removed the first block.
Right.
Okay. And then when they had the 7 sets again, like released, they removed the 3. So you start over with like 4. So you have 4, 5, 6, and then 4, 5, 6 sets rolling all the time.
Right.
Something like that. I think
that would make quite a lot of sense for this game, and it seems to suggest that if you've seen, there's like a rotation symbol at the bottom of the spoiled cards. You have a little A with a rotating arrow around it, which would suggest that Jump to Light Speed would be in a rotation block called Block A or something like that. So, but
this is
the 3 old sets. The 3 old sets do not have any symbol like that. So there's a chance that these 3 sets are evergreens. That these 3 sets do not rotate. But I don't know. I mean, it could just be that everything without the A block is called the 0 block or something. So these 3 sets, at least they are going to be treated the same way, is my guess. And then we probably have 3 sets with this A symbol, with an A and a rotating thing. And then I would just guess here that set number 7 would have a B with a rotating thing on it. So they will rotate, either they rotate block 0 when block B starts releasing. So exactly the way Adam suggested, with you going between 4 and 6 sets that are viable. But then I think that they're probably going to have like a modern, something close to what modern is for Magic, where like maybe the 6 latest sets or something like that or blocks really would be viable. So if Premier is the 2 last years, then maybe modern would be the 6 last years, and then you have a everything is legal after that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
3 formats, kind of like Magic has.
I had not noticed those icons.
Me neither. I barely look at the cards. I look at the name. Oh, this is Vader. Play. He's good.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's why I lose games.
and just hope you don't see a Darksaber.
Yeah.
There's one
Yeah,
last thing I also want to mention, and that's the competitive season starting for real, right? Because we've been in season 0 now.
Yep.
Yes.
And in season 1, there's going to be more representative of what
Yes.
it's going to look like with points and so forth.
The points I'm looking forward so much. I am scared that they are not gonna be implemented in time, but like I looked forward to that, like from the like week 1, basically, like starting to track who is performing best in your country, in Europe, in the world. Like have that
So
ladder.
points on your profile.
Yeah, basically, you on your SU point, like if you score great in a PQ, you get more points, but you get even more for a sector or a regional, or like if it's a big PQ, you get more than for a medium sized. So, like I think that is like a very cool way to encourage people also to travel to tournaments, like because you can move up in rankings and stuff. So I really hope they implement it after Worlds. Because they've said it should be alive to season 1, I think is the plan. But
That's what they said.
which which should be in the fall, right?
Well, I mean, at the end of the summer, really.
Oh yeah,
like,
true.
Yeah.
So Worlds, or rather the planetary. Sorry, no, Galactic.
Galactic.
Sorry, the Galactic. That's in August. Not
July.
really July, but
July.
yeah. And
So
then
next-
from August onwards, we're in season 1, really.
Yeah.
This is really good, because then that my season 0 poor performance will not affect me moving forward.
No.
This is Christmas come early or late for you guys listening. People say time travel is not actually possible. It is. Come on, this is proof. Yeah. So yeah, that's 2025. That's what we hope it will be. I'm also looking to the Force. Looking forward to the Force set as well. You know, seeing where that side can really go, going how deep that can go. Yeah, that can be really good. And actually, also kind of like if they have gone with the whole the pilot thing for the light speed, they've introduced that.
Yeah.
What new stuff are they going to introduce in sets 5 and 6 as well? Are they gonna what other new, you know, force based mechanics could they be introducing then as well, that's gonna, you know, mix things up a bit? Yeah, that's just something that I'm wondering now.
It would be nice to see.
Yeah, cool. Well, let's wrap this up until next year. We will see you next year. Thank you all, listeners, for tuning in, for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, if you haven't followed us on Spotify, etc., do it now. Like 2025 is going to be a good year for us. Yeah, New Year's resolution. That's exactly what it is.
For everyone.
Yeah,
Subscribe on Patreon.
Adam, Jonah, Victor, thank you all so much for this year. Matthias, thank you as well. I hope you're listening as well, who has been actually really, really helpful in the early months of the podcast. And Jan as well. We can't forget Jan, who was also on a couple of episodes there too. Thank you all very much this year, and we will see you next year.
See ya.
Until then.
May the force be
Happy
with
New
you.
Year.
Good night.